We are working on making our tax policy work for 100% and not just 1% of the entire country. She is the Executive Director of the Colorado Fiscal Institute, and her name is Carol Hedges. Please give it up for Carol Hedges.
Wow. It's a rare honor for a tax nerd like me to get to talk to a bunch of fired up folks. I'm so honored to be here today because I know that we share something, and that is that we are proud to pay our taxes each year. We're proud to pay them because we know they finance the public investments that build strong and thriving communities here and across the country. So why isn't the president willing to share his tax return with all Americans that are paying their fair share? Isn't he proud of the collective investments we've made to build a strong America? Our transportation network, our public school systems, our public universities, our dams, our bridges, our parks. Or is he that guy who doesn't want to pay his share? You know the one, he's the guy who never pitches in when you're taking up a collection from a crowd to buy pizza. Now, we all know something. We know you can't get something for nothing. Even if you aren't paying, someone is. Now, we also know, and here's the deal, we also know that we all benefit from the collective investments made by our taxes. Now, of course, not everyone benefits from every single investment because our communities are not vending machines that dole out advantages exactly equal to what we pay. We also know that not all of us need everything that's provided by our tax dollars. Not all of us have watersheds on our lands that will home to unique wildlife. Not all of us take public transportation to work. Not all of us have seriously disabled families, and quite frankly, luckily, not all of us struggle with chronic illness. Yet the lives, all of our lives are improved by the communities that protect wildlife, offer public transit options, help families care for disabled members, and provide health care. So I'm here today. Places where families can live and have opportunities to prosper. Now, much of the attention this morning has been and should be on our president's unwillingness to share because it represents a lack of his pride in our country. But there are a couple of other issues that are important, tax-related issues that deserve a little attention, and one of them is demands that we continue to pay attention because of the threats to our federal tax code that will further concentrate wealth in the hands of the few. And the second issue is Colorado's own outdated and nonsensical tax code. With Congress recently protecting strides made in providing expanded access to health coverage, the sights of this new Washington regime that turned to quote-unquote tax reform. A recent analysis of the congressional tax reform package shows that a whopping 96% of the cuts from the so-called Better Way proposal will go to millionaires. 96%! It's really hard to reconcile these data with Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin's promise that there will be no absolute cuts to the upper class in tax reform. If the recent discussions about repealing the ACA is any indication, we must remain vigilant on finding hidden tax goodies for the wealthy in the legislation proposed and considered by Congress. Bob Greenstein, the Executive Director of the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, captured the health care reform this way, and I think it's important in the context of talking about taxes. He said, rubbing salt in the wound for the low and moderate income people, this bill includes $600 billion in tax cuts, the majority of which would go to the top 1% of Americans. All told, that bill would likely represent the greatest assault on modest income Americans of any law in modern times, as well as the largest distribution from low and middle income families to the wealthy in memory. our commitment to the great state of Colorado. To pay for supportive education for our school kids and recreation for our families, health care for our elderly and disabled, and public universities that help lead economic innovation. Yet the Colorado tax code, too, is a mess. It's upside down. Lowest earners pay nearly twice the percentage of their income in taxes as the highest earning Coloradans. Our tax code isn't working very well in support of our communities. Even with the best economy in the country, our unproductive code is causing us to retreat from the investments in the things that we know will help keep Colorado awesome. Now, the good news is that at least here in Colorado, there's a growing consensus that we must fix the tax code. Our General Assembly, Democrats and Republicans, are now backing measures that would modernize our antiquated ossified tax code. These are provisions that were designed and conceived in a different time and designed to address different problems. It's time to get them out of the code. I sincerely hope we will try efforts to keep Colorado awesome by modernizing our tax code, making it work for working people, and getting it right side up again. Something you can do today, immediately, that would make such a difference in this effort is you can pull out your phone, use the Twitter hashtag #ProudToPay to share what you think are the most essential public services supported by our tax dollars. Thanks for coming today. Thanks for standing up for our collective investment. And thanks most of all for being proud to pay for the things that build thriving communities all across Colorado.
Up next we have